is the Fifth Estate winning headlines, your media police post. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you might have missed this morning. But we also take a look at the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 2nd of Drinkcember, and I am 2J.
I am 2.
And I am GK. Happy new month, everyone.
Happy new month.
You're saying Drinkcember instead of Happy Advent. You know,
sorry.
Happy Drinkcember.
We know how Kenyans are.
Lord, in case you missed the headlines, here they are. In the Star, 2020.
See, Drinkcember, I told you.
2022. Uhuru Raila grooming Matiangi. In the Daily Nation, BBI blow for RUTO as Speaker rules out Parliament.
Yes.
And in the Standard, revealed Kenya's most popular high school.
Okay.
Here we go.
I think we begin with the Star.
Yes.
And
when we asked the question,
yes,
are Uhuru and Raila grooming Matiang'i?
And it seems so. Look, Fred Matiang'i, CS for Interior, was in Kirinyaga over the weekend to preside over an event PS Kibisho was having. And literally everybody across the political divide, all the way from Mombasa, Joho, all the way from Western, Junaid, all the way, I don't know from where, were all centered in Kirinyaga. And the way it looked like there is a discussion to coronate Fred Matiang'i. Now, is it a bad idea? I do not think so, because you need someone who can get things done.
I think it's a horrible idea.
Really?
I would ask myself some tactical questions.
All right.
Firstly, he has no constituents to speak of, i.e. you are appointed as CS. We
not
actually
elected.
can't gauge your popularity on the ground. We have no idea how you would actually do in a political contest, per se. He's been protected by the establishment as we speak. Secondly, there's a thing that we like to say is the fall of the favorite. When you see someone being propped up so early, I mean, you're going to be used for some kind of...
Yes, but you see, we have to start from somewhere. Look, across our border we have Tanzania. One John Pombe Magufuli was roads minister, and he did his job so well. And actually, in the line of the CCM line, Chama Cha Mapinduzi, he was candidate number 7 in line.
Yeah, they call him the accidental.
They call him the accidental candidate.
He
was least likely to become president. But because he had this pedigree of doing so much within a short time and getting so much done, I think they chose him. And look, we're in uncharted waters.
Okay, true. I agree with you on a little bit of the Magufuli, but on some of it I don't. Okay. Matiang'i for president, I completely agree. He is so efficient. Every ministry he touches, you know,
but his style can be likened to be a bit abrasive.
It's okay.
That is true. However, I will say the difference between Kenya and Tanzania is a CCM structure. That party culture that they have is very strong and very old.
And when the party says, the party goes.
Exactly. We don't have that in Kenya. So in CCM, the elders, they sat together and they decided this Magufuli, he's good for country.
That's a very good point because there's a line of succession. In Kenya, our party structure and culture is very weak. Who
knows if Jubilee will exist by 2022?
And absolutely. And look, if Uhuru is feeling some type of way about how the Gema is feeling about BBI, he might as well look for a compromise candidate. Does it have to be Kikuyu? I don't think so. If Raila feels that he may not be able to make it in 2022 and still want his interests protected, he will need a compromise candidate.
Well,
who is that in our eyes? It's Fred Matiang'i.
Well, the debate is still up. I'm not yet convinced. But we do have a 3-part criteria that we use to break down the headlines. We ask ourselves, is it topical or speculative? Is it repetitive or groundbreaking? And is it attentive or just plain lazy?
I think it's a great headline.
Fantastic.
I think the whole country saw this today and was like...
They were intrigued,
right?
Right? Okay, so we keep it in the parking bay.
Yes.
In the Daily Nation, BBI blow for RUTO as Speaker Justin Muturi rules out Parliament.
So over the weekend, Muturi said that there's no way, because he's the one who gets to decide what comes through Parliament, he said there is no way BBI is coming through Parliament because it belongs to the people.
Actually, he doesn't get to decide. In fact, it's not even his job to decide.
No, I said he's the one who he said that he gets to decide.
He's the one.
Yes, he
but
said
it's
that
false.
himself.
We all know how we all know
it's Monday, forgive these two.
We all know parliamentary procedures.
Yes.
I think it would need to be passed to a motion. Someone would need to sponsor it within Parliament.
Yes.
And it should be an MP.
And guys, on principle, I am for all things that bring the power to the people. I think we should defend our right to vote for certain things.
Most definitely.
Guys, I don't know about BBI, but I think let it be decided. I think a across the board.
Yeah,
by the people.
I don't think we should take such a hard stance where they should go through people, through parliament.
Of
For
course.
as long as there's consensus, I think we can agree.
Definitely.
Kidogo sana. It can be passed, and people will
However,
go
the point you were making is that Muturi was now giving...
It's not his job to decide what
No.
comes to parliament.
However, he was giving quite a finger to RUTO by saying this.
Oh, absolutely.
However, RUTO did then just go on and tweet saying that this is fake news.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do we know anymore?
Also on BBI, can we just even uphold other elements of the current constitution that we have versus going off into new uncharted waters?
I know, true.
Anyway, food for thought there. So shall we pack it? Do we like it?
You know what? If it's fake news,
We can toss it.
let's toss
Let's
it.
Fake
toss it.
news according to DP.
DP.
Twitter. That's a new criteria for us here at
Yes.
the table. In the Standard,
Yes.
revealed Kenya's most popular high schools. So here the Standard has veered away from
BBI
politics
talk.
Yes.
and has told us that the popular or preferred school for girls
Yes.
was Pangani.
Pangani, yes.
TJ, do you know where that is? And for boys, this one you must know. For boys, it was Kapsabet, followed by Miranda.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
wow.
Pangani girls had 110,000 girls
Yes.
seeking to join, but there are only 336 places.
Yeah.
Oh my
And in
goodness.
Pangani, there's only about 334. So
Guys,
only
should
the
we-
very, very best
Let's
are
start
going to
a
get
high
in there.
school.
I know that.
Guys, let me tell
And
you.
for boys, 62,000 for Kapsabet with a capacity of 432, followed by a place in Miranda, or called Miranda.
I think we should stop grading KCPE, because if this is a kind of demand,
Yeah.
children just wanting to go to schools instead of having a future, then this is why children are committing suicide.
However, I will say one interesting thing that did come out of the new high school placements is that now all positions are determined by a computer.
Yeah.
It happens electronically now.
Yes.
They've taken the high school principals out of the situation, which I think was
So there's no rent seeking to
no
be
more
out
rent
there.
seeking. Yeah. So I think
Interesting.
again,
And uptake-
this is probably an
Yeah.
update that Matiang'i
Yes.
instituted, right?
Magoha or Matiangi?
Probably
Matiangi back in the
before,
day.
Yeah. Matiang'i for president.
So now you're Matiang'i for president.
Wow. Anyway, they're admitting more kids than they did.
That's
the
true.
Previous,
I will say between the two headlines, the Star and the Standard.
I'll go with the Star.
Star.
So there you have it. The Star gives us our winning headline.
Absolutely.
On to the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country, where we also have a three-part criteria that we use. We ask ourselves, is it humorous or dry? Is it satirical or pessimistic? And is it effective or just plain lazy?
Yes. And here you have the caricature of the chefs. President Uhuru Kenyatta and the chef is Raila Odinga. And it's a banquet. And on the waiter side, the waiter is William Ruto.
Yep.
And the banquet is labeled Legacy. And the trash can is a big four. Inside the warmers, because these are called warmers, eh?
I suppose so. Yes.
Yeah, is the two letters BB, and I
We
suppose
assume
the other
the next
letter
one is I.
I. Now, what got
Do
me
you think
about
it's
this?
ugali? Sorry.
Oh, and the thing
caption?
is food for thought.
Yeah.
Look, what got me about this is the fall of William Ruto right now. I mean, how he let Raila Odinga become a co-chef with Uhuru Kenyatta.
He's been relegated to the role
relegated
of
to waiter's
waiter.
position, you know.
Let's not underestimate the
I am
deputy
I
president.
am actually not underestimating him. Oh, what I'm also saying is Raila Odinga has done such a great job to come almost from the abyss of political oblivion, and now he is.
Look at how happy he is.
What I found interesting is everyone's assumption that Big Four has
BBI,
been thrown out in favor of BBI. Yet BBI is supposed to sort of
They're meant to complement each other, if anything.
Yeah.
And the Big Four has been munched up.
But only in a few places, meaning
Who do you think amongst these three munched up?
I don't know.
Shall we park it?
Let's park it.
See what Gado has for us. So Gado has says hustler formation years, and there's a teacher, old-looking teacher with a student and a chalkboard, and it says a journey of hustling 1,000 shillings starts with hustling a single shilling. And I think it's from the quote: "A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step."
So he's crossed out the miles and the step.
Very
Put
cheeky.
shillings and hustler.
Yeah.
I think it's an okay cartoon.
Is it a shot at William Ruto?
I think it's a shot at his hustler formation, his background.
His
years.
background, yeah.
But I mean, it could also be a shot at our generation, because our generation, we go to class so that we make a shilling. We don't see
we're looking for money.
Everyone is looking for money out there.
And we want it quickly.
We want it quickly. We are a microwave generation.
Is there anything wrong with that though?
I don't know.
We all have side hustles.
The interesting thing is, I think hustler has tended to take on this negative connotation. Right? Like you're doing shoddy things and taking shortcuts in order to get somewhere.
Yes.
Food for thought he has given us.
And this is a teacher, and the teacher is letting the student teach.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't get that.
There's a teacher letting the student teach. And he's probably asking himself, is the child right?
Maybe, because he's probably a hustler himself.
Because look, he looks malnourished.
So we pack it.
Okay. And finally, Iga on Mondays as always.
So Iga, we have a bed of the two Wanjikos.
Yes.
Oh, Wanjiko and her husband, perhaps.
And Wanjiko's husband have a name?
These are young kids.
Maybe minor. So, and they're written voters, and the pig, or whoever that is holding a bag of money and reading BBI and saying, and you'll vote for me happily ever after.
Yes.
I actually think it's quite an interesting cartoon when you kind of think about it. Because, the way I've interpreted the cartoon is that the pig, who we assume to be is a politician, is going to blind the voters with money.
Yeah, so they won't actually know the content.
They don't focus on BBI. And we did talk about the BBI report as being far too complicated to read. We said that there should be an abridged version.
It was too long.
Yeah, because if you look at it right now, just the way it's written, the form has taken on a terrible... it's very difficult for the average person to read and understand and digest.
Yes, it's funny how they let a pig read a bedtime story. Oh, these are children, these are not married. and reading a BBI short story full of cash.
When they were called voters, I assumed they were over 18.
Over 18.
Surely.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, whichever it may be, shall we...
Toss Gado.
Yeah.
Okay, let's...
The hustler shillings
and
situation.
This IGA thing should go.
Okay. For the first time, I was satisfied with this cartoon.
I think we're going to give it to Ozone of the Star. Give us our winning cartoon.
Yes.
What is our final thought?
And now our final thought is inspired by a book entitled Close Your Ears, Children, BS Jobs by David Graeber.
Yeah.
You want to give us a summary?
Yes.
Yeah.
So because of Ezekiel, we're going to have to abridge the title of this book. It's called BS Jobs, a Theory by David Graeber, written in 2018.
Yes.
So Graeber is an American anthropologist. He's also an activist and an anarchist, and is currently a professor of anthropology at the London School of Economics.
Yes.
So this book actually came from a 2013 article that he wrote called The Phenomenon of BS Jobs, which went viral.
Yes.
It got 1 million hits, I think, in 1 week, and then it was translated into 12 different languages.
Wow.
Yeah. So based on the success of this book, of the article, he just decided to turn it into a book.
Yes.
And his argument stems from a prediction from British economist John Maynard Keynes.
Yeah.
So in 1930, Keynes predicted that by the century's end, technology would have advanced sufficiently that we would go from a 40-hour work week, which is what we have today, that's 8 hours a week, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, to achieving a 15-hour work week, which is 3 hours a day, 3 hours a day, 5 times a week.
Wouldn't that be nice?
So nice.
Yeah.
But however, he says, while technology has shown that we are able to do this, it hasn't actually happened yet.
Yes.
So technology has advanced to the point where most of the most difficult labor-intensive jobs can actually be performed by machines.
Yes.
But we've created a whole universe of useless BS jobs that are professionally unsatisfying and spiritually empty. And so what does he define as a BS job?
Yes.
He says the jobs which even the person doing it can't justify the existence of. But they've learned to pretend that there's a need for that job to exist, and he says that's where the BS element lies.
Comes in.
Yeah, and he differentiates between a BS job and a bad job.
Yes.
He says a bad job is bad because they're hard, or because they have terrible working conditions, or they have poor pay. But these jobs are sometimes very useful.
Yes.
Whereas a BS job is highly respected and receives high pay, but is completely pointless.
Yes.
So he points to things like PR consultants, corporate lawyers, telemarketers, administrative specialists who are paid to sit around, answer phones, and pretend to be useful.
Yes.
It's quite sad. And so he says that it's as though someone is out there making up pointless jobs for the sake of keeping us working. And he argues that in a capitalist society, this shouldn't happen. That when there is market competition, the last thing a profit-seeking company should do is pay people that they don't actually need. But he suggests in this book that the ruling class, those people above who seem to control everything, figured out that if you have a happy and productive population who are working only 15 hours a week, and they have a lot of free time on their hands, they become a danger to the establishment. And so you see the endless growth of useless jobs, and if these jobs actually disappeared tomorrow, it would make no difference at all. If, you know, that secretary or that person who pushes papers did not exist tomorrow, we would all still manage to keep going. And that's how you know it's a BS job. If we suddenly eliminated teachers or garbage collectors or policemen, it would actually really matter. But these BS jobs, take them away tomorrow and no one will notice. May not even keep moving.
And I think he interestingly makes an argument that we may not even be fully in capitalism, because capitalism would have gotten rid of the inefficiencies, right?
Exactly.
And so he says that what we have is managerial feudalism. So basically you still have the lords, and you have us, sort of
the little worker bees.
The commoners.
Basically.
My takeaway from this book, guys, is he gives the 5 varieties of BS jobs. I'm trying very hard not to say that. And these varieties, I'll name them. Number 1 is what flunkies do. Number 2 is what goons do. Number 3 is what duck tapers do. Number 4 is what tick boxers do. Number 5 is what taskmasters do. Now, if I had time, I would say what all of those are, but you can read the book later. Now, from this, I took number 3, what duck tapers do. And he describes duck tapers as employees whose jobs exist only because of a glitch or fault in organizations. Basically, they are there to solve a problem that ought not to exist.
Because that's what you use duct tape for.
It's
the strongest tape. You just use it to cover up something and I'll deal with it later.
It's like cosmetic. It's just you know. And they say duct tapers exist virtually in every part of life. And he has something a little bit extreme, and he touches on why housewives exist. And he tries to imply this. He doesn't say it expressly. And he borrows it. It's a concept from a man called Sigmund Freud. I cannot pronounce that name. Now, he calls this housewife housewife neurosis. And they say the reason how housewives get that career or become housewives is because they are very insistent on cleaning after others. And because they are not too happy about how the previous person cleaned, they ensure the entire house is spotless for the entire of the day. So their work is just to ensure home management. Nobody can do it better than themselves.
Well, all right.
I don't know whether I agree with him, but.
Your smile says.
So if we go back to your definition of a duct taper, you're calling a housewife a duct taper. She is there to solve a problem.
Him.
That ought not to exist. Ought not to exist.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because someone else should make sure the house is clean, and she shouldn't just spend her entire career in the house. That is what this person is saying.
So David,
it is not me.
David in the book also goes on to speak about I think it's the second type, what goons do. So goons are people whose jobs have an aggressive element, but crucially they exist because other people employ them to do this work. And so in this group of jobs is PR people, public relations, that is. You have telemarketers, financial, corporate lawyers, those kinds of people.
Oh, I actually thought you were going to say good. Okay.
But you could be actually, right? So the most obvious example he gives of a goon job is national armies. And he says that countries need armies because other countries have armies, right? So if no one had an army, then there would be no need to have your army, because you're having your army to protect yourself from each other, right? And so he says these goons largely have a negative impact on society. And it's because you're being employed by one group to manipulate the masses into
one thing or another.
And he says the other thing that stood out for me he talks about is spiritual violence. So he says that people in BS jobs undergo quite a bit. And they constantly feel like they are false, like they're living a false life and one without purpose. And he quotes someone called Nori and says, workplaces are fascist. They are cults designed to eat your life.
Yes.
Bosses work hard to hoard your minutes jealously, like dragons hoard gold.
If someone was here, you would have received an insight.
But then the thing is, he also talks about this thing called the paradox of work. So why, if work is so BS and there's so many basic things that we ought not to be doing, why are we still doing it?
Yes.
I don't,
right?
and it's a good question.
It's a very good question. He says that while most people hate their jobs, there's some dignity, a sense of dignity and self-worth that is derived from working.
Yeah.
So most of us who are Christians, or, you know, you're told an idle mind is a devil's workshop, or you will eat by the sweat of your brow, all those things. And so it has those theological roots. You don't want to be seen to be doing nothing.
But also you find this thing where when somebody says, who is GK?
Yeah,
GK, who are you?
Yeah, and what do?
You say your career. You don't say, I am a mother, I am a daughter, I like to collect books, I like to collect wine. You are defined by that occupation.
Exactly. And so when you don't have an occupation, you feel like you are worthless or you're wasting away.
Yes.
And then he says that the more one's work benefits others in society, that actually you're valued less for it, you're paid less for it.
Yes.
And I think you see this a lot with like maybe social work, you know, work that really does good for others, but isn't very highly paid compared to your investment banker and whatnot. So that was what I got from it. Spiritual violence, paradox of work, and what goons do.
True. My question also was, have we reached that point in Kenya yet?
Yes.
Because I think we were discussing the fact that we are ready to go automated. If you look at the agriculture industry, for example, we could go fully automated.
You could have a machine pick your tea.
But you'd have a lot of angry tea pickers on your hands.
Yes, because you have a lot of unskilled labor, and where do you take it? They have to pick tea.
This is also true. So on a day where we had a double win for the Star, winning headline from the Star, winning cartoon from Oza, I want to leave you with this. In the end, we know that people are not inherently lazy. We work not just to pay the bills, but because we want to contribute something meaningful to our society. The psychological effect of spending our lives doing these meaningless tasks or basic jobs or BS jobs are what is profoundly damaging our soul. So we need to, in our daily work anyway, find a way to find meaning.
Find a hobby.
Find dignity. So even as you do the BS job, you have something that brings you some value, right? So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, but also find us on TV. We're on GoTV, Pang Free to Air, and Star Times. And have yourself a good evening.
Yes.